Hello everybody. I guess I haven't made a video in too long, or for a while. It's been about a month basically. But I'm there's just so much to talk about, so I'm gonna try to prolong this as much as I can to make it, I've been saying this for a while, but I'm actually gonna try to sit down and actually do it this time. I've been very busy with work and things like that, so I'm gonna try to get back into this and try to make them a little bit more frequently than I probably have been for the last 3 months. I have been having the best chance to watch Raw and everything, but I have been catching up lately. I just got a chance on, I believe, Friday was to watch the last two Raws and SmackDown, so I'm pretty much set on everything. So now you have this card for WrestleMania, and I've been saying that it should be this look back, and everybody's saying, you should remember the old days when you have something like the 25th anniversary of a pay-per-view, which is, definitely good. I think they absolutely screwed up on the 500th episode being a milestone that it actually is. I do believe that they screwed up on that, but I'm not going to talk about that in this video. This is primarily just about WrestleMania 25 and just my pre-thoughts on it before a predictive video that I might do, that I probably will do and everything. Okay, first of all, you have a lot of people talking about the Undertaker-Shawn Michaels feud, which definitely is the best going into this. This is definitely the best time to be a wrestling fan heading into WrestleMania because you don't have one feud but two. You have several feuds going on at the same time, which is definitely captivating for a fan at any time. My only problem is, why doesn't WWE actually have a couple feuds going on within a brand that actually means something to push somebody towards this? Because guys like The Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, they're not going to last forever. Guys like Edge and Orton, or the guys that you need to promote, which I'm glad that they're finally doing with Orton, is to build him up even higher than what he is, and also Edge, and maybe even John Cena. Because those are the guys that are actually going to last in business. Jeff, that's basically a wild card right there. I'm going to have to start with The Undertaker, Shawn Michaels match. I'm going to start with JBL and Rey Mysterio. First off, most of these matches we've already seen before, which kind of does piss me off, is why would you rehash something from like 4 years ago to do it now? I do see that it's a look back and it's everything coming to a boiling point, but it seems so stupid to do it this way and not to have like basically a new fresh match on the card at all. In particular, which is to me is amazing, and I'm hoping that they do something along those lines, and I'd say at least a Jack Swagger versus Evan Bourne match there, something, something that we haven't seen that potentially as something that has potential to be good or bad, in my opinion. I guess could make this predictions video. This is obvious that Rey Mysterio is going to win, especially in Texas, where they have a huge Mexican fan base, and then Trusley was talking about that they should induct a Mexican wrestler to be in the Hall of Fame. I don't actually see them going that way, but I do see them having Rey win the title, or the IC title, to push him kind of along those lines. Which should mix up the draft just a little bit, due to the rumors of him going to SmackDown. So I do think they'll do something with that. You have Carlito, Primo, Morrison, and The Miz. We've seen this about 3 times, especially on SmackDown, and they're just going back and forth. And this is finally going to unify the titles. I was hoping that they would do this in a different way, besides just to have this meaningless, stupid feud about 2 girls lead to titles, which obviously making the title seem secondary to the 2 women, basically. And the 2 women are just, they're not the kind of divas that you'd expect. They're not very flamboyant. They're not very well known. I thought it'd be something more of those lines. Like maybe if you would have, maybe back then if you'd have Sable and someone else sort of in the corners, kind of split up, something like that, it would mean a lot more. But then you have 2 newcomers and they're splitting over them. It just doesn't have that right feel to it, especially not going into a WrestleMania. This one's kind of hard to call, but I'm going to have to say probably Miz and Morrison, because I don't think WWE trusts Primo, and quite frankly, I don't think they trust Carlito. So I do see Miz and Morrison retain this. I see a lot of faces winning this, which is kind of stupid. I was hoping that there would be a little mixture and a little turn up with this. Matt Hardy versus Jeff Hardy. Probably Jeff Hardy. This is probably going to be the opposite of what happened with what this match actually evolved from, which is supposed to be the Owen Hart versus Bret Hart feud that led WrestleMania 10, I believe it was. I could be wrong, but I believe it was WrestleMania 10. It was the opener, and Owen Hart won. The younger brother who was supposed to do better. The guy who was least popular with the fans in Owen Hart instead of Bret Hart. So I would definitely want to see, I would have liked to see Matt Hardy actually go over on his brother and start to get a push to develop his skills and do this and that, because he's been with the company for far longer than a lot of other people have, and he's not been had a chance to really fight for a world title in a long time. But then you've seen guys like Bob Holly fight for him, and you just kind of lose focus there. Like, where the hell did they get stuff like this? I'm going to pick Jeff Hardy to win that just because it's Jeff Hardy. By the way, it's an Extreme Rules match. All these are a goddamn gimmick except for one match, which is just one-on-one, no titles, no nothing. I do call a title a gimmick because it adds something more in the match. It's just not two people facing each other. Though Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels is a huge gimmick. It's an underlying gimmick, I should say that. You have the 25 Diva Battle Royal with everybody basically in there. I could care less. If whoever's going to win is going to be Miss Wrestlemania, it's not that important to me, so I'll move on. You have Edge versus Big Show versus John Cena. This is a match that no one wants to see, but I can tell you why this is happening. A, just because it's going to be a look back, you think of the one moment that obviously sticks in Vince McMahon's head, which is WrestleMania 3, with Hogan slamming Andre the Giant, which you will see John Cena slam the Big Show for the 400th time. And I do think I will call Edge to retain this, but I do say whoever wins the Money in the Bank will pin him right then and there, or afterwards, later on in the night, and then they will become the new champion. I do say that the Money in the Bank will be cashed that night. You have, on to another one, you have Triple H versus Randy Orton. Now, we have seen this hundreds of times. We've seen this 2 times on one pay-per-view, I believe, No Mercy, where Randy Orton became a 3-time WWE champion. I don't know why certain people weren't yelling about that, because that was obviously ridiculous. Triple H became a 12-time champ, or gained 2 more title reigns in one pay-per-view. Randy Orton gained 2, which was exactly ridiculous. There's no more time. Those two can work a good feud, can work good in the ring. I just don't, I'm not feeling having the same people fight over and over. It's time that they actually did something about this, because it's really starting to irritate me. Though I do like most of the card that's happening. Most of these matches I will enjoy. They basically went safe with this, and I'm not too happy about that. The only match that I definitely really want to see is Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels. I usually order for the Money in the Bank, but they have completely screwed that up this year. Thank you, WWE. I will call also Randy Orton to win this. Uh, I do see both titles changing at WrestleMania 25 because they have to do something big. If both are retentions, it's stupid in my opinion. You have CM Punk versus Kane versus Mark Henry versus MVP versus Shelton Benjamin versus Kofi Kingston versus Christian versus Finlay. Finally, we're having about 8 competitors in the same match. Mark Henry, I don't see why. I guess he's a fill-in for R-Truth, which I wish R-Truth was in here, because you don't actually need 2 big men in here. I was hoping that they'd actually throw a big man in here and kind of mix it up a little bit. To kind of, also a throwback to the old ladder matches with the other guys. But here, let me get down to it one more time. You have, I really want to say CM Punk, because he's the only one that I think WWE would actually trust to get it. Uh, I did say that he would actually cash in on Edge that time. I'm a little bit shaky about that, but I do believe CM Punk will become a 2-time Money in the Bank winner. Back-to-back Money in the Bank winner. Now you have The Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels, which is the hardest to pick, which is not that hard. I do believe The Undertaker will win, and he will finally defeat Shawn Michaels. Mr. WrestleMania at WrestleMania 25. Both from Texas. This is going to be a huge match. Uh, this basically needs no introduction to anything else. This has got it every single last bit of what you'd expect in a feud and a match. They're running with this perfectly. I have nothing bad to say about this feud, except I'm saying WWE should push more people towards this, because they won't last that long, and you're not going to have this many gems as they have. That's just my thoughts on that, and I'll come back with another video and some more thoughts. Later.